Greetings, everyone. It's Leecon here. And I'm back again. Hopefully you are too. But if you're a first-time viewer, welcome. The voice isn't always that weird, you know, but the dude behind it is. This is a show called Lore of Warcraft. On this show, we explore, discuss, read, view, and play everything in the World of Warcraft universe. We're doing a World of Warcraft walkthrough right now, where on this, we try to do every quest, Alliance, and Horde. You know, I also just hit a fear, which we'll talk about later in the episode today, about something that might hit us on the end of the road of this insanity journey we're on. But right now, we've completed pretty much everything in Desolace. Except if you truly want to be cray-cray, you have to now flip the switch and do the second tribe. We completed the Gelkis questline, so now we're going to grind it out to do the Magram questline. Stay a while and listen as we hit a grind episode today. Today is going to be all about, I'm going to see if we can put in a good solid couple hours into killing the Gelkis. That's literally all we have to do. So we've recently switched over to being at war with these guys. The Gelkis are currently, that doesn't matter, it's the Magram. We need 6,200 total rep. So we can do a little bit of math on that, but while we do the math, we might as well just start killing right there. Okay, most of them, because we're already level 41, aren't going to be worth much XP, but we're not gonna fight them with XP in mind. We're just going to fight them. As a matter of fact, I think I've probably not even hit my judgments. I'm just going to do Seal of Command. Now, the Gelkis are easier to fight, in my opinion, than the Magram, for a couple reasons. Okay, every time we kill one, we get 22 rep. So we'll come back to that. So 6,200. Well, every kill is going to be 22 rep. So that means every 2 kills, every 10 kills, so this is what we're going to do first. We're going to do the math. Every 10 kills is 220. That means every 100 kills is 2,200. So we need not quite 3 of that, because that would be, if we needed 300, that would be 6,600, and we're not quite there. What did I say? We're at 6,200. Okay, that little stun right there is... Luckily we have 2 stuns now, but that's one thing that could get us. Whenever, if they go into heal mode, we're going to have to use one of our 2 stuns. So we'll just have to make sure whenever we fight these, we have either Repentance or Hammer of Justice on cooldown. And depending on where you hit in their little cycle of operating, so you can sometimes skip it entirely. Alright, so that means 300 kills would put us 400 over. So now let's actually do a little bit of subtraction and find out where do we have to be then. So if you did 10, what did I say? 10 was 220. So 440. So 20 kills, taking 20 kills off would take us now 40 under. So 280, and then we would have to bounce that back by getting 2 more kills. So we need 282 kills in order to make this work. You know, our durability is... I should have sold and looked at durability before coming here. I did not. We just came right over here for the kill. So at some point, we're going to also have to... make a pause to go vendor some things, and that is what it is. Alright, so now what we do is we kind of let's track. I'm gonna wait right up until, okay, we just had a minute change right now, so let's see how many we can kill in a minute. Can we kill 2 in a minute? Well, I mean, they don't always run like that, but we have to take that into consideration. Obviously, sometimes we'll have to throw a heal in. Okay, so this is a second kill. Oh, boom. I've just now become unfriendly with the Magram, so I've got my 200, and I've upgraded that. So I went from hostile to unfriendly. Oh, this one is not. Someone else must have tagged him, the Stamper, because he's not. He didn't give me any. I lost reputation for that, but I did not gain any reputation. That's whack. But I killed him anyway. Okay, so we basically can say we can get about approximately 3 kills a minute. Okay, and I said that we needed 282. So now we do 282 multiplied by 3 to get us, let's see, 8, 6, 240, 246 plus 600. So 846. No, I'm wrong. Not multiplied by 3. We need to divide it by 3. Okay, so 282 divided by 3. Well, 270 divided by 3 is 90. And then we have 12 more. So 94. So it should take 94 minutes to gain the entire rep. It took us a longer than that with the Horde faction for a couple of reasons. One, I think that she was killing at a slightly slower factor because we're not a pure DPS spec on that. So that's a real thing. It's something truly worth considering. And two, you know, we take a couple detours over to like a land in order to sell. There we go, my blessing of might was off. So of course there's going to be stuff like that. If we don't do a full travel across the country, and I'm going to not do that as much as I can help it, then tacking on another half an hour in order to accommodate going back and forth. Now, and also, our village is worse. Sure, we could go over to... Like, I don't want to have to go with what's her name? We could go right over here to Shadowprey Village. We do not have that luxury with this character. We could... Where can we... I mean, we could go over to, like, Gizelton Caravan right there. That guy has a shop. I think. Sometimes these caravans... Right here. So if we kind of just peek, if... Maybe... I'm trying to remember where it comes, but... Yeah, there's a spot where the Goblin Caravan comes through. So... We'll keep our eyes open for that. We also had to pause for eating and drinking sometimes with that other thing. Okay. So, that's where we're standing. We're looking at most likely somewhere in the 2-hour range. Let's check, where did we start the video? We started the record 8 minutes ago, and it's 41. So just after 9:30. So I think when we did this last time, we got down to needing about 1,000 rep. We did like 2 hours plus of grinding, and maybe, or somewhere in that ballpark. And then we got down to needing about an hour. I mean, about 1,000 rep, and that's where we stopped. I think we could potentially, if it really only took us an hour and a half, we could consider doing the whole darn chain. But if nothing else, probably, no, we're not going to do it. We'll at least save do the other grind, save that all for the next episode. I mean, we could do a piece or so. But probably not. Oh, that one started running right away. But yeah, our killing is a little faster. We might be coming in here hot, like a little bit of a higher level. I can't remember. I should have checked also where was Gleek and Soul at. Another thing that we tried to do on the... Okay, first, let's talk about my fears. So, we're trying to cover every quest in the game, right? Well, I did have a fear. I was doing... You know, I'm off camera, I'm doing the trial run where I'm doing Booty Bay. Or I'm doing Stranglethorn Vale with my Alliance Horde. And while in Booty Bay, I suddenly had the realization, there is a chance that I think there's a quest where you have to, if you want to get every quest in the game, I think there's a couple quests by becoming friendly with the Bloodsail Buccaneers. And I think the only way to do that is to just attack the people of Booty Bay frequently, which also is going to put you hated with that group. You have to be hated with them and you have to be friendly. So that means we're going to be, just like we're doing now, we're going to be spending a lot of time killing Booty Bay guards. So, if that's true and that's a real quest that exists in Classic, we're going to have to, I mean, we're going to do it because we're trying to do everything, but I will, there's a strong likelihood we just save that for the very, very end, like one of the very last things we do. And since we have to do it on both our accounts, and we can kind of merge it with some of our other stuff. Because killing, two reasons why this is going to suck. One, it sounds like the kill rate is even worse than what we're doing now. I mean, it's not that the rate is worse. It probably can't be much worse than this. But the guards aren't scattered all around like these are. So where do they, you know, where do they come from? How do we find them? I've never done that before. But the worst part is, it's effectively going to be sealing off Booty Bay for us. So at that point in time, I want to kind of be done with like everything else, because it's just a couple quests, and I think they're the ones that get you the Bloodsail Admiral's hat. So because it's going to be shutting down basically all of the ports for us, I kind of want to be done with like everything before we go ahead and do it. And so by then, since we will be done with everything, it'll be something we can work forward, like kind of like we do now, where I do once a week, I'll do a little episode of the lore. We'll kind of mix in a time period where like once a week I'll do some grinding. Who knows? I mean, we're talking about something that's not going to happen for I mean, I think within a year. I was mapping out the timeline, and at the rate that we're playing right now, I think by about halfway through next year, we'll probably be done, I think, with Classic. That timeline could move up or slow down, depending. Alright, so that's my fear, was just remembering there is a chance, and I guess if you know for sure, anybody that's done this, if you know for... Oh, I'm now unfriendly with the Gelkus. I've dropped from neutral to unfriendly with that kill. But if you've done this yourself and you know it is an actual quest, holler, let me know, just so I can mentally prepare. If it's just a thing you get, then sure, we could skip it. There's some mithril right there we'll go for. But I really don't think that's how... This game basically ties everything up into quests. And also, we could think about the work of it all. If it's really just like 2 quests at the end of the game, we could consider just talking about them. But if you really do get the cool pirate hat and everything, it might not be... Talking about it might not be cool enough. I could also very much see wanting it. So yeah, just something for us to think about on the far future radar, like, you know, 8 months, 10 months from now, up to a year from now. Who knows? I would like to finish this before a year goes by. All right, so. Alright, okay, now it's time to pivot. We have our work cut out for us on this episode. We have a lot of rep grinding to do. Once we get through unfriendly, which is where we are right now, we are unfriendly with the Magram. We need to work our way all the way back up to neutral, and then an equal journey from neutral to friendly. I can't look at... I wish we could just look at that, but we can't. See, there is something wrong. Current standing. Oh, look, it does give me the current standing if I want to pull this up. So we are at... It says negative 2,300, which basically you just take 3,000 and subtract that. So 658. We're 658 rep in. So I guess that's one way. It's a little bit faster than opening up the reputation tab. I'll have to look and see upgrading some stuff about downloading an update for LVUI. It's just not big enough of a inconvenience, the fact that I can't hover over the rep bar. Most of the time that doesn't matter at all, unless we're doing literally what we're doing right now. Alright, but to pivot. So last time I created a talking point, right? I was like, oh, which things am I looking forward to? I got off track, so instead what I've done is I pulled up one of my favorite Reddits for lore masters in the world. It's called Warcraft lore. So if you're a Reddit person, there are two Warcrafts I really like for the context of this show. One is called Classic WoW, and one is called Warcraft lore. And Warcraft lore is the one I've decided to pop open today, and basically people do exactly, I don't even need, like I asked, hey guys, is there some things you want me to talk about? And nobody, no one's responded. That's okay. You don't need to do a homework assignment for this show. Especially when one already exists. People just do this for fun on the Warcraft lore Reddit. So they will just pose questions to the community, and then the community answers them. So we're just going to scroll down in reverse order. We'll start with the newest question. If a question seems interesting, I'm going to talk about it. And if not, I'll just move on to the next one. So at the top of it is, the most recent post is, who is the mightiest NPC of every class in lore? I think that's fun. Here's a couple reasons why I think it's fun. One, that in a way, that's what we did when we created, the first go through, our aborted attempt at making this walkthrough, when I decided, hey, I'm gonna make one of every class so we can really cover everything. What that led to was a 99.9% redundancy, because there are so few class quests compared to regular quests. If you look at the spreadsheet, that I felt like the time investment, it basically multiplied my amount of time that it takes me to do this show by 450%. So over 4.5 times as long, so that we can on camera do like 1% more content. I would love to do it if it was retail. I would absolutely do it, because retail, there's so much we can spread out among the classes, so the redundancy factor goes down. And that is something we will do when we hit retail. But yeah, it's just, that was too much. So what we did, for those of you that haven't watched back, like, I don't know how far back you'd have to go, at least a few hundred episodes. When we because we've now basically hit as far as we got pretty far though. We got almost where we are right now. We never did Desolace, so this is all stuff that's new. But we did do a couple things we haven't done yet. I think we did a couple more Alterac Mountains quests that we haven't done yet on this show. We definitely did Razorfen Downs, and we did the Graveyard and Library of Scarlet Monastery, which we've done that on Alliance, on Horde. So in the next few days, we'll be catching up the dungeons, so we will be as far as we got on dungeons, and then we'll be doing Alterac Mountains. The only other thing that we have not covered, if you look at zones, we did start with some Stranglethorn Vale, because I had originally planned on doing Stranglethorn Vale in 2 pieces. So we kind of had a Stranglethorn Vale south, and our characters who were around level 28 at that time, I think we had maybe our strongest was somewhere in the neighborhood of level 34, so level-wise we're way past that. So we've technically done just the very first, like, half dozen or so easiest quests in Stranglethorn. And we didn't even do them all. Like, I don't know why, but with my little... We just went after the Nesingberry quest, because there are a couple, as Alliance, you could do at the top of the... Well, maybe they weren't even there. I don't know. You should be around, like, level 34, I would say. Realistically, at least around level 32 if you want to start questing in Stranglethorn. Otherwise, you're going to do 1 to 2 quests and then you're going to run out of content. That's which is what happened to us. And we struggled. I struggled, not we. I sucked. I struggled. It didn't help that I took my Hunter, which is my probably worst class in World of Warcraft, and my Rogue, which is an extremely challenging class to solo mobs at a low level when they are higher level than you, because you have no healing, you have no ranged options, very few defensive options. It was just those 2 things were some of the biggest reasons why I ended up rebooting, because we were spending a whole hour-and-a-half long episode on one quest each time, and it was just redonkulous. But what we did is we created some characters. So let's. I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to say, are the ones that we picked the best? Are they the coolest? Is there others that we just, because we were kind of pigeonholed into class race combos, that we were stuck with? Or are there ones that we just didn't pick because we couldn't get the name or whatever? So let's start at the top with Paladin. So what are the most powerful Paladins ever? Well, there's a few. So I would have to say... One, you could look at the original Pantheon of Paladins. If you go back to Chronicles and read, there's 5 or so guys that were used to found the Paladins. Now, those guys have either died or become evil. Like, one of them, I think, is the dead guy that is now the leader or the founder of the Scarlet Crusade that's possessed by demons. A couple are dead. I think we'd have to research this. Are they the most powerful? I don't know. They are powerful. Certainly the guy that leads the Scarlet Crusade that's actually possessed by a demon, he's up there. But I don't know that they're necessarily the most powerful. They're just the OGs. I would say Uther, of course, he jumps off the page as being one of the most powerful. But he is ultimately killed, right? Uther's dead. So... but I would put him right up there. And who leads to his death is Arthas. So you could definitely put Arthas up there, but Arthas' true power doesn't really come into existence until he is a Death Knight. So let's pin him. Let's pin him back. So I'm leaning towards Uther. Now, Eretor is the one I picked as our character. Definitely not. Eretor is the supposed child, I believe, love child of Tyrellian, maybe, and the elf, one of the Windrunners, one of Sylvanas' sisters, Valyria. Whichever 2 get lost in the Burning Crusade land, and then we don't see them for a long time, and one becomes a Void Elf, and Eretor is the child of that, and There's not a lot about him in the lore, so no, he is not one of the most powerful ones. He's just a dude. Although the child of heroes, and maybe the potential is there. So I'm leaning towards Uther, but the only one I would say that could probably take the cake, and this one I'm on the fence are, would be what's his name? Lothar? The guy from the guy that is basically the leader of the Alliance army military from the time of orcs and humans up until or all throughout that one. Actually, maybe through Warcraft 2. Uh-oh, we're gonna fight all of them. Okay, so that guy, I want to say it's Lothar. It starts with L. L-O. He is the most powerful. Here's what stops me from just ordaining him. I'm not 100% sure he's a paladin. I don't remember. So he might be a warrior. So I'd have to look up and see specifically. I don't remember if he gets paladin powers or not. If he's considered a paladin, I'm going to give it to him. If not, oh, you can also say Anduin Wrynn. Anduin Wrynn is pretty dang powerful as well as a paladin. Maybe one could make the argument he's more powerful than Uther. So let's go with Lothar. That's not his name, is it? I don't know why I can't remember his name. Alright, but let's... whatever that guy's name. L-O... I don't know why I'm brain farting on that. But that dude, we'll put him as number 1. And unless he's not a paladin, then we're going to give it to Anduin Wrynn, with Uther being our runner-up. That's my vote. And I could be very well forgetting some people. Okay, and then now let's look at Death Knight. I think Death Knight's easy. It pretty much has to go to Arthas. You just can't compete with the Lich King himself. Now, if you want to say Arthas has superseded Death Knightdom and become something else, or make an argument that he was actually kind of weak and it was only, you know, or he wasn't anything special, then you could give, like, Mograine, the guy that was the source of the manga we read, the one that essentially was, like, the first Death Knight on Arthas' side. You could give him an honorable mention, and an argument could be made that he was pretty awesome. There, you actually have a pretty decent slew of choices for these Death Knights. They're a pretty good set, but that's, for me, that's an easy conversation, because if we want to include Arthas, it's got to be Arthas, and if we don't want to include Arthas, I feel like the Mograine, Darien Mograine maybe, is the oldest one. Can't remember, but if the one that we've read multiple books about, that has the Ashbringer, something like that. The cool sword. That's my guy. He's my vote as my runner-up. Okay, warriors. Well, Lothar would be up there if he is a warrior. And I feel like warrior is so ubiquitous, you almost have to look across the board. Otherwise, you have to look at... I mean, there are some extremely awesome warriors that fit this bill. Like, of all the races. So... some of the original orcs, like, dang it, I should have done that. I prioritized reapplying my buff because it wore off. What's the name? Grom Hellscream. He'd be up there for sure. One could also argue the book we read where there was an orc that kind of got sent back in time and ended up fighting, killed Jaden or something like that. I don't remember what story that was, but where he goes to a portal and he actually, like, manages to wound the demon. But he's portrayed as sort of like this old warrior, not like this epic, I destroy everything on Earth kind of warrior. But he gets an honorable mention. A lot of them go to orcs. Varrock. you could make an argument. That's the one we named our warrior after. Varrock is Sour Fang. Those are very strong warriors. Trying to think of some others. It's actually warrior is such a almost like a generic, basically, like who's a really good fighter, who's a good tank. You almost have to go by spec, but I'm trying to. Off the top of my head, just the iconic orc has to come out of my mind, and then you have to think, well, who do you pick? Ideally, you'd want to pick someone that's not dead, because they haven't been defeated. But I don't feel like that's like automatic. I don't feel like that's 100% a deal breaker. Because yeah, Lothar or whatever the heck his name is, he's on my list for the paladins, and he's dead. And he died like fighting an entire freaking army, basically. So yeah, I'm gonna go with like the Grom Hellscream. Same thing, like the leader, like Thrall's dad. He was obviously a pretty cool warrior, very good. The Frostmaul guy. However, he was able to be killed and betrayed. Yeah, that's it. I'm racking my brain. Alright, so for now, for lack of anything better, I'm gonna go Grom Hellscream. I just feel like he's pretty awesome. But there's a couple in that same boat, and we'll look at them when as we finish this discussion. Now, if you wanted to go for an alliance side, who's a really good warrior, basically who's a shining knight on the side of the alliance? I mean, King. You could say, okay, some of the Bronzebeards are pretty, like the brothers, they're pretty strong. Thanks. But pretty strong is not what the question's about. Not who's a pretty strong warrior, who is the best of all time. Dang, I'm not. Same thing with like the night elves. Some of the ones I'm thinking of, are they strong as warriors, or are they strong but they're technically would maybe be like marksman hunters or whatever? The guy that currently leads the Blood Elves, I'm pretty sure he's technically a warrior. He's pretty good, but he might be a ranger too. Alright, I'm gonna stick with my orc guy being the best, because I start to already question, like, when I start looking at the alliance, like, the people I'm thinking of, I'm questioning what is their real spec. Alright, moving on to Hunter. I would have to say, if you're gonna consider a marksman-style hunter, I think we actually have to look at the specs, because the hunters are so varied. I'd say if we're looking at marksman, it's gotta be Sylvanas. She is too OP as an archer. She's freaking awesome. I don't think there's really any question. Even when she was taken down, fighting an entire army of supernatural, she was brought back and she still is awesome. Now, if you're looking at like a Beastmaster style hunter, a hunter that really goes on that attunement with the animals, it's got to be Rexxar. Rexxar is so dope also. Walking around with Misha, I think he's a pretty clear-cut winner. So I think we got to give those two, because they're so different in their hunting style. They each get a trophy. I can't think of a survival hunter off the top of my head, unless you wanted to say trapping could go to Nessingwary, which we actually named one of our hunters after him. So there's an argument to be had for sure that Hemet Nessingwary is OP. I'm going to drop down there and get this mithril. And I would be totally fine with that argument. So Hunter was actually ended up being easy. Shaman's going to be easy too, because obviously Thrall has got to be, even though he originally was a warrior as a gladiator, he's obviously the pretty much the most powerful shaman ever. I don't think it's even close. It's got to be Thrall. He's hands down dopest shaman in the game. Okay, so moving on. That's not evokers. I don't think we have enough time spent with the evokers. We only have the one expansion, and whatever's happening now, which I don't really know because I've been waiting to possibly play that with you guys. As of right now, I have not played the newest expansion yet. I have purchased it. I have the... I don't know why I used the special... I don't know, this particular combo here is the combo that does the most damage to me. Obviously, 2v1 probably has something to do with that. Alright, yeah, so Evoker, I don't know. There is the... Really, the problem is that I don't know their names. And there were some cool ones when we read the quintet of books. Was it a quintet? I don't remember. Whenever we read... I think it was. When we read the books that was basically all about the leading up of the War with the Primals. Maybe it was just one book and it was in 5 parts. I think so. Anyway, there were some cool ones there, but most of those are like dead and gone. They're not actually part of the storyline anymore. They die in the battle. And there are some cool ones when you're doing the scripted main storylines for Dragonflight, like the current leaders of the Drakthir. I just don't remember their name, like maybe Emberthal or something. I don't remember which ones. I just don't know their names off the top of my head. So that's a conversation. That would be one, maybe we get some help. But I would say, I guess some of these named ones that do cool things. But even then, like, she's just powerful because she leads them. There are other ones, I think, that probably took down dragons, sacrificed their lives, fought a bunch. Those are probably the ones I would lean towards for an evoker. If we could find one like that, I have to confess ignorance there. I don't have enough information. I've only played through Dragonflight storyline a couple times. And I'm working on my 3rd time right now, but I haven't even played that in a couple weeks. So, yeah, I got work to do there. And we have research to do. Alright, so what about Druid? Well, it's gotta be Malfurion. Gotta be Malfurion Stormage, not even close. He's the iconic Druid. He is ridiculously powerful. At this point, not even a question, Malfurion Stormage. Rogue. Okay, so you have Matthias Shaw, who is the leader of SI7. He's an Alliance rogue that is pretty powerful, but even he admits at certain points, like, dude, you might be better than me. Okay. You have, like, Vol'jin, who has some Shadowhunter magic kind of weird hybrid. So he's not a true rogue in that sense, but if you wanted to consider Vol'jin as a rogue, then there's a certain argument to be had for sure. Nathanos, the guy that's the number 2 to Sylvanas, that is now a Forsaken. He was definitely a rogue once upon a time, and he is very, very good at what he does. With both in the stories that we've read him, in the work that he does for Sylvanas, he's quite the character. Trying to think about who are some of the other... I'm leaning towards, like, okay, you know what? Garona. There you go. We can go with Garona. The assassin. We'll give it to her. The one that is half Draenei. I still struggle with that. Half orc. She would probably be my pick for most powerful. She's just the coolest too. She's an assassin, so she's got a clear kind of spec going for her. She is, I mean, sure, she has some defeats at the hands of, like, Gul'dan and stuff. Uh-oh. But that's not entirely her fault. She was brainwashed. But then she also has some very, very key assassinations, both while being brainwashed, not being brainwashed. She's worked with Khadgar. She worked with Medivh. You know, she's involved with a lot of things. So she's historic. She's iconic, and she's still active throughout the lore. So I think she's a pretty safe pick for best rogue. What about Monk? Now, Monk, this is going to be another tougher one for me, because Monk, you know, we first of all, we don't get any for 4 expansions. So you have to think about who are some of the heroes that came out of that. You have some of the Brewmaster heroes that were involved in Warcraft 3 that you could play as, that were obviously pretty cool and iconic. You also have some historical people that basically helped create the monk fighting style from the beginning. You have the avatars and helpers of the different spirit animals, the cranes, and I mean, you also have the villains in the series, and I guess the Shah, which I guess they're not really a monk. You have the older lore masters that were they monks once upon a time. So I don't, again, here's a situation where I can think of some cool iconic characters. And the leader of the Shadowpan monks fighting back. But I feel like the Shadowpan monks are more run by a squad of people and don't have a single OP leader. Like, I just can't think of one iconic monk that jumps off the page to me as an awesome, powerful figure. Like, they're, you know, I can think about the Brewmaster you follow around, who's pretty iconic and has a, like, good story. There are the people that train you in the temple. I'm sure there's some OG, like, Legend of Kung Fu masters up there. But this one I would have to also... I'm sure there are good examples. I don't think... Unlike with the Evokers, where I'm not sure that we know enough about them for me to pick a definitive one. With the monks, I would say I'm going to need to go with ignorance. I would need to replay through that expansion, because it's been a little while, and look at the body of work of the monks to make an assessment. But that's fair. I mean, that's okay. That's a thing. So we will defer to others. I'm willing to throw that one up and defer. So that gives us rogue, monk, druid. Oh, demon hunter. Well, that's got to be Illidan. That's another. No questions asked. Got to be Illidan. It's not a contest. He's pretty much the original demon hunter, and he's epic. And there's lots of instances from Warcraft 3 and beyond. There's lots of examples of just how OP he is. So, no contest there. Alright, so there are 13 total classes. We've done the 3 plate. We've done the 3 mail. That's 6. And now we've done 4. That's 10. Okay, so that's it. We're just down to the clothies now. So let's start with priest. Who is an OP priest? Well, if you want to think of Tyrande as a priest, then it's definitely her. If you consider Tyrande Whisperwind a priest and not something else, because now she fights with Blaze and does all that stuff, if you want to think of her as a priest, then I concur. I want to give it to her. if you consider Turalion a priest and not a paladin, then, which I don't know. I think he's probably more of a paladin. Which, actually, he'd be another good person for the conversation for most powerful paladin. Okay, so, yeah, so I already talked myself out of Turalion. But yeah, you got to give it to Tyrande if you want to say, yes, she's a priest, even though she's kind of shifted away from that. She's certainly a priest at the time of Classic right now. There is the leader of the Zandalari tribe, who is a priest, who does some pretty epic things. But not really thinking of any off the top of my head. There's the the abbot for who eventually turns evil. So I don't want to give it to him. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Tyrande, and then maybe we'll think of some others along the way. Okay, Warlock, it's got to be Gul'dan. He's just done things that other Warlocks haven't done. I think it's, even though he's evil, we're not talking about playable characters. Like, he is powerful. He's a straight up, he's the most powerful Warlock, I think, that we've seen. Because I wouldn't consider Ner'zhul, when you read the story, I don't consider Ner'zhul a Warlock. And even, like, some of the, now, a lot of the other things were, when you start thinking about powerful evil casters, they're not warlocks, so you have to specifically think about the ones that summon demons. I mean, you have Cho'Gall. He's also pretty dang powerful, but not as powerful as Gul'dan. So while we can think of another couple like runners-up, like we did in the beginning, they're not more powerful. It's a pretty clear-cut line. Now, mages is where it gets really dicey, because mages were spoiled for choice. I'd say more than any other, there are just a bajillion iconic mages. So you have Jaina. She's, I would say, a front runner. She's just amazingly powerful and super cool as a hero. But then you look back and you say, okay, well, Medivh was probably technically more powerful than her. Became corrupted and did a bunch of evil things and is now dead, but Medivh was super powerful. Well, what about Medivh's ma? You know, the original Guardian of Tirisfal. What the heck was her name? I'm drawing a blank right now, but yeah. Well, then she's probably even more powerful than him. But not at, you know, when they overlapped, she wasn't, because she gave of her power so that he could become powerful. So then that didn't last. You can make a certain argument that freaking Khadgar is crazy powerful. He lifted Dalaran up. He's part of a group of people that organized that. Strong arguments can be made that the Lich form of Kel'Thuzad is way, way up there. He is super powerful. He is super strong. The leader of Anasterian Sunstrider, I'm pretty sure he's technically a mage. He's crazy powerful. Like, there are a lot of really, really, really powerful mages in lore. I want to give it to Jaina out of just fandom, but out of pure power, maybe I have to give it to possibly Medivh. He's just a strong dude. Alright, so that's me going through it. I'm gonna give it to Jaina, and we'll say Medivh is my runner-up. But there's tons of other ones. We have a lot of runners-up. Alright, so now what we're gonna do is let's see what people say. Let's see when people have gone through this on their own. Okay, so this person has as a warrior Broxigar. I don't remember who the heck Broxigar is. So let's take a side journey here and look up. I can't remember who Broxigar is. He might be the guy that killed Jaden. I kind of think that was him. Just couldn't remember his name. So let's look up Broxigar. Pretty sure he is that orc that before I kill Jade. Okay. Roxagar. Yes, he is the one that went back in time. So he was basically my list. So the person on Reddit goes with Broxagar, and I don't disagree because he freaking went toe to toe with a prime demon lord, one of the right hands of Sargeras, and damaged him. Okay, Paladin, they say Uther or Tyrion. Yeah, so, and they have a question mark, so they weren't sure about that, and I think that there's, like I said, those people were right up there on my list. Hunter, Hemet, or Rexar, and yeah, so they're right in line with what I was thinking about. Rogue, they gave Garona, which I agree, and Lillian Voss. Lillian Voss is pretty awesome, but I would give the edge to Garona. Priest, Velen. I didn't even think about Velen being a priest. That's true. So Velen, definitely, is he more powerful than Tyrande? As a pure priest, absolutely. Shaman Thrall. Mage, they gave it to Khadgar, okay. Warlock, Gul'dan. Monk is Chen Stormstout, so he's the brewmaster one I was talking about. Druid, they give Malfurion. Demon Hunter, Illidan. Death Knight, they give Arthas. So all very much in line with what we said. And then Evoker, they said no clues. Let's see. So this person says, people have got on the Khadgar thing. And then this other person says, I don't know how Rexar could ever be a better hunter. I mean, how Hemet could ever be better than Rexar and Sylvanas. 100% agree. Only if you were giving out spec awards. Oh, Holm High Mountain. I actually had his thought. I had the thought of Holm when I was building up to Hunter. I never said it out loud. He is 100% in the conversation for most powerful hunter, for sure. What kind of hunter? I don't know. If you wanted to give one for each spec, and you wanted to trade over him and call him a survival hunter, because he fights with a spear, then hands down, which is pretty cool, that hunter is so awesome that they get their own... their heroes are so awesome that each spec has one. That's pretty cool. It says, yeah, this person says, if Sylvanas is a hunter, she's gotta win. I agree. 100%. If not, I forgot all about Holm. Holm probably beats Rexar. She's just unlucky. Hero talents. Warcraft 3. Okay. This other person says, yes, they both have pets. Rexar has Misha, and Sylvanas has Nathanos. Yeah, so that's pretty good. That we're in a lot of agreement with what these people said. Yeah, they said Dark Rangers hurt. Oh, we did it. We are now neutral. Whew. We are more than halfway done with the journey now. What's our time? We are not even at an hour, so we are cranking it out. I love it. I would just like for them to not digress so much. They said Medivh, the mage should be Medivh or Azshara. Ooh, I didn't think about Azshara. But is Azshara the most powerful mage? I don't know. Yes, she was powerful as heck. But really it was her master army, and then possession by demons, and then eventual like ties. Her power came from other things. And then Egwene, it says it's hard to scale. Egwene beat an avatar of Sargeras, but also she beat him when he. This is coming from what they're saying. Yeah, she won when he actually wanted her to win. Azshara is stronger than some of the demons like Manaroth, but was weaker than Archimonde and all of that. So this person's making a strong argument for Azshara. Yeah, it says Medivh could beat Egwene, which is true, but after she gave him his power, also true. So that's things that we mentioned. I do feel pretty good about my brothers and sisters out there of lore, that we are all kind of on the same page, and that we will also spend time having this conversation. Now these are all thoughts just bopping around in my head, and then I pop onto the Reddit and I see like so many similar thought processes. It just makes me feel validated. It makes me feel seen. Even though I'm doing it only on, for you guys, which that's not just a only. There's a big chunk of you guys out there, and you are awesome. You're the reason why I do it. But I mean, it's not like I'm getting feedback. This is a one-way conversation. Okay, so yeah, so it says these other people make an argument for Egwene. I still do like the argument for Egwene. Now, all the arguments they made for Azshara, they are wrong one. They are convincing me. I didn't realize that. I forgot that she could beat Manaroth in a fight, and but I would make the argument that if Egwene could go toe to toe with an avatar of Sargeras, there is a pretty solid chance she could fight like kill Jade and the other one. And because Medivh could beat her, and in some ways because he gets his power from other things, but you could make the argument that when he's all infused, he could also. People are busting on Khadgar. I mean, he is super powerful, but so is Jaina, and it's just like the same thing. Like, Jaina is also very powerful, but I'm just fanboying over Jaina because she's a cool character. There's no way that she is actually more powerful than even Khadgar. I don't think so. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I'm missing things recently. Alright, so people are breaking that down. I think I'm good on the mages. I think they've convinced me. Yeah, more warlocks. I just don't think that there's one better than Gul'dan. So that's my only argument with not including more discussions about warlocks. Yeah, and then this other person says, why did you write Malfurion lowercase? Putting disrespect in Malfurion's name. Okay, there we go. This is what I was wanting. I wanted someone to talk about the evokers. It would say Scale Commander Sarkareth. And that's what I was wondering. Like, these are people, but I want to see discussion. Why is it Scale Commander Sarkareth? Oh, it says you could make a sketchy argument to say Neltharion is the strongest evoker. No, bro, don't come at me with that. He's not an evoker. Even if he ever took on a visage that was potentially evoker-like, which I've seen nothing like that. So, nah. I'm gonna have to go away from that. This combo where this guy beats up on me while she pummels me with magic, that one's forcing me to heal almost every time. Yeah, it said, Neltharion wasn't an evoker, he was an actual dragon. Right. And sure, an argument can be made he's the most powerful of those. Okay, Neltharion. This guy says there's an argument to be made then that all dragons pre-WoW were evokers. Absolutely not. That is not true. I don't agree with that at all. It says you can call them proto-evokers. No. Every Drakthir is an expert soldier. I mean, that's true because they were created, but that doesn't mean that they can't Obviously, now they're free and there are heroic versions of them, aka us. So I don't think that you just take them off the table and say, no, there can't be a truly best one. It says Sarkrath was the guy we fought in Aberys. That doesn't matter because it doesn't have to be good guys. It says Sarkrath is 100% an evoker. And his, yeah. It says he was very, very powerful in a raid. Okay. Alright, so there's an argument for Sarkrath, who is a bad guy, but that's okay. That's part of our conversation. We can certainly have villains. Okay, Uther and Tyrion would be first to come to mind, but isn't Turalyon supposed to be pretty strong? Yeah, I do think actually he is. You could certainly make an argument, but what about Anduin? Why is nobody making an argument for Anduin? Am I the only one thinking of him as a paladin? He is a paladin. Put that one to sleep. Repent, you stupid centaur. Oh, we have done it. We've maxed out on gear. What should I throw? What is this? What is it?
Inventory is
silk
full.
cloth. Well, I want that. What can we throw away? This one piece of mystery meat. Alright, so now it's time for us to make a side journey. We have to make a pause. We were doing really great on time. If you look at our math here, bunga bunga bunga, we are at current standing 474. So we need 2,526. So we'll do the math. That's 100 kills for 2,200. That leaves 326. That's 100. That's 110 kills would get us to 2,420, and that leaves 106, which is 5 more kills. So we need 115 more kills. I think we're gonna go to this. Actually, that caravan is not there. Where's the quickest? Does this guy have a selling point? Because I don't know if this guy actually has a vendor shop. Does this guy in the Kodo graveyard have one? I don't think so either. I don't remember if there's a vendor right there or there. We might be going all the way back to Nigel's Point. Oh, but we have a mount. What am I doing? Walking like a peasant? Oh my gosh. I'm still getting used to it, guys. I'm sorry. Okay. Now we need to sell. Let's see how much silk we have. How much silk do we need? Let's look. Let's start there. Have I given the people of Darnassus silk? No. So that's 1 pack of silk we need. Have we given the good people of Stormwind silk? No. But it looks like we've given them both wool. Yeah. Okay, so that's 2 packs of silk. What about Ironforge? Have I given the good dwarves silk? No, but I've given them wool. So the gnomes need wool. They're the only ones I have that need wool, and everyone needs silk. But I also am still using silk to make bandages. That's part of it. So long. And actually the mage weave, I'm going to make that first, because if we're ready to move on to heavy mage weave, I have 2 packs of silk ready to go out of the 4. I don't know why I'm doing this weird. Oh yeah, does this guy have a shop? That would be the easiest. I don't think he does. I know there's a guy inside. I'm wrong about that. Okay, no shops. I don't like how, when we did this on the other character, we were able to see the, like, killing marks. We're almost caught back up. Once you're at 2,000, so we're about 1,500-ish away from getting back to where we would have started. Alright, so let's check it out and see. Alexander's Mograine with Ashbringer. Yeah, not in the top. Also, you know, he's now a Death Knight, so... But he was awesome, yeah. They said Turalian has over 900 years of experience fighting. That's a valid point. Because he's in that other dimension. Alright, so let's see. Is there a selling point here? Guy's just a regular goblin. We save a little bit of walk time. I don't care about the repairing. That guy's a Twilight's... That girl, or whatever is it? No, they don't. It's a Twilight's Hammer person. So the only thing is, now we could go over here. Oh, look. Here we go. This guy. Let's go to Vendortron. Okay, so we can sell these things. Copy. I'm going to sell that in a shop. Okay. That's all good. Let's use our first aid. If we can get to 5 points on this, then we're saving all the rest of the silk. If not, we can... we're already automatically not getting there. Oh my gosh, what a waste. I got 1 point. What a bummer. Got 2 points out of that. I'm gonna... Fine. I guess we will do this. We're gonna try, we're just gonna, yeah, just also because this is gonna help me with bag space. I'm gonna see how close we can get to the 240. Will we be able to sell or do it? This is gonna take all of our silk. Ridiculous. Okay. We were at, I think, 72 or something to get started. Stupid. Okay, so now we're eating into that. Wow. Not even 1 point so far. FYI. I thought it was supposed to have approximately a 10%. Obviously, though, that's wrong. So we're just eating through all of our silk. Bummer. Once we get to 240, I think it'll gray out. Okay, we've used over 20 of our silk and not gotten a single point. Over 20 of our things, so over 40 of our silk. Still not a single point yet. This is a little bit frustrating. Wasting all of our silk. Wasting. I mean, whatever. We're going to get gold for it, but... Gotta be kidding me. Not 1 point. Not a single point. That's crazy. We've used over half our silk. We've made over 30 heavy silk bandages and not gained a single point. Wow. I can't believe that. Like, I don't know what is it, a 1% rate? Oh no, there's Misha. Don't kill me. Just leave me alone. I'm just vendoring. Scary. Okay, so we've made about 50 heavy silk bandages and not gained a single point. Speaking of heroes, as Rexar walks by. This is insane. So, if you don't want to waste like I am, there's an answer for you. Don't do this because it's going to take all of your silk for no freaking purpose. I cannot believe how bad we're getting jobbed right now. Ridiculous. He's about to leave. Okay, so he's about to leave. So I sold what I have. I cannot believe We got jobbed so hard on that. Not a single stinking point. So I guess don't waste it. Alright, we'll go back down there now. That took a little bit of our time. So what did I say we needed? We need 2,526. Which is 100. That gives us 2,200. 10 gives us 2,420. And 5. So 115 kills. If it's truly around 3 kills a minute, that takes us somewhere in the neighborhood of 40 minutes that we're going to need. And we are at an hour 10. So that would still come in under 2 hours. I'm really, really, really bummed that I shouldn't have wasted the silk. That was a bad call. We could have had 3 of those quests taken care of, and instead we didn't. So I just can't believe that we didn't get a single dang point. I should have just saved it for the... yeah, I should have just saved it. Should have just saved it for Mage Weave. I really thought there was a chance. I mean, whatever. Who cares? I guess at the end of the day, right? When we have to, we'll go back and we'll grind up silk at the end of the game. We'll see what is required. All right. So what else do we have? It says Terralion is the winner in his current state. I could definitely see that being true. Yeah, it says he's not technically part of an order. He's trained by Velen as a priest and Gen as a warrior. Warlock is Archimonde or Kil'jaeden. They're not warlocks. I would say they're demons. Yeah, I like our picks so far. What about, where am I on fishing? We are behind on fishing. We won't do it right now, but maybe we do that, or should we? I don't know. Yeah, maybe we actually take a little break and do some fishing. Why not? It's gonna add 10 minutes onto the show, but they make some good fish here. Okay. And this will give me a chance to more easily peruse the end of this conversation, because now I'm curious. Illyria Windrunner, they're making an argument for her. Meh. Okay, this guy gives Varian, Rin, or Brox as a warrior. Okay. Ajara, Terralion. So, Terralion, they've been convinced. And I like it. Sylvanas, and then they give Chandris, Feathermoon, or Illyria. Nah, because you gotta give Rexar, man. Rogue Garona, Priest Velen, Thrall, Gul'dan, Malfurion, Illidan, Taranju as a monk. See, I want to get some good monk conversation. Arthas as a Death Knight, they don't even talk about evokers. Yeah, it says Varian is not stronger than Broxigar. Brox put an axe in Sargeras. Says Chen is stronger than Taranju. I don't know. Okay, Ner'zhul was a shaman. Yeah, that's true, but even then he wasn't like particularly powerful. Alright, we rule out the player character. It says Garona over Lillian Voss, this person. Right, I agree. Mage, okay, shaman. It says, but Thrall came down with a bad case of not having a character arc anymore. Oh, that's true. And then so it's either got to be either Magatha Grim Totem or Nobundo. I'm gonna still let Thrall keep his glory. Yeah, it says Evoker would have been Sarkrath, but he died. I don't care about that. It says monk, warrior, and hunter are tough because they don't typically have a power level. So it's not. I disagree. Chem Stone Stout is a notable monk, but that doesn't make him most powerful. That's how I feel like. He isn't. He is notable, but power. My money would be on Turan Zhu over Chen, but that's a hard one. Now, who's Turan Zhu? I don't even remember who that is. Let's look up Turan Zhu, because maybe that would convince me. Because I just don't love the idea of it being Chen. Oh, Turan Zhu looks like he is the he's the Lord of the Shadow Pan, which means he is pretty powerful. Okay. I like that. But even then, not in love with it. Broxigar, right, I kind of agree with the argument. Like, yes, he did something awesome, but throughout the book, he's portrayed as like this old dude. You can make decent cases for Garrosh, Brox, Varian, Sourfang, Lothar. Yeah, see, Lothar I feel like is a super powerful case for Lothar. Also, I was right. Which I love. I love that. It says basically, basic achievement, though, you could give it to Brox because he hurt Sargeras. And it says hunters are like a catch-all. If you include rangers, sure, it's Sylvanas. If you don't, then it's Illyria. But if you only include rangers and not dark rangers. If we're sticking to a purist, then Rexar is not a bad choice. See, and then it says Zhu can beat more people, but Zhu can't beat Chen on this monk conversation. That's an interesting point. If that's true, then I would give it to Chen. You're forgetting Kang, who would body both of them. Who's Kang? Kang is a legendary warrior who overthrew the Mogu Empire while being the father of all monks. That's who I was trying to remember. I was like, I feel like there's one guy who made all monks. The father of all monk teachings, and the one who freed Xuan from his imprisonment. His staff Shailun is the monk artifact weapon that Xiao Hao used to shroud Pandaria in mist. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna go Kang. Kang is pretty solid. I got that right as it was clicking. Okay, so fun conversation. I think we're good. I think now we just spin in circles. I wanted to have some answers for Evoker, and they gave us Sarkarath, which is a good one, and Sarkarath, and the Monk, which now I'm convinced. Kang, that's a good argument. A lot of people leaning toward Ajara. I never even thought or considered her. I still don't love it. I don't also... Broxigar is cool. I like the argument. But as terms of overall power, I do like... I'm going to stick with my... I'm Team Lothar. I like that. Oh, here, this person... They've done a few. Okay, so they give for Warrior, and this is the last one, then we'll move our conversation point over. We spent a long time on this one, because it is a fun... Oh, my fish got away. It's a fun one to think about. So they gave Broxigar, Varian, Cairn, and Sourfang. Then maybe through some honorable mentions, the Hell Screams, Duraton, Orgrim, and Denath, Trollbane, maybe. So I think that's a good list. I just wish they had Lothar on it. That's my only argument. That dude literally straight up, like, defeated Medivh, won the first war for or at least helped end the first war, and because of his frontline fighting, basically won the second war. Paladin Turalian, it says Lothraxian. I don't remember. I don't know enough or remember who that is. Tyrion, Alexandros Mograine, maybe Liadrin rises up one day. Okay, but I like the arguments for Turalian. They've convinced me about Turalian. And he was on my original list of thoughts. Druid Cenarius, although, okay, yeah, he's a demigod. He shouldn't count. So then Malfurion. Then they have Remulos. No, he's a keeper. He's not a druid. Vandrel Hamul. Okay. Hunter Sylvanas #1 with Illyria, Rexar, Chandris, Nathanos, Holm, all of those good quality. I would still put Nessingwary on my list of honorable mentions. Rogue. They have Maev, if she counts, as a sentinel. Do you count sentinels as rogues? What do they count as? I don't know, but she is pretty cool. Lillian Voss, they put above Garona? Nah, I like Garona better. I'm going to stick with Garona's. They have Garona as the #2. I like it better as #1. Shaman Thrall. They say no idea about Deathstalker Commander Belmont, Matthias Shaw, Valera, or Vanessa Van Cleef. They're good rogue, like, honorable mentions for sure. Thrall or Magatha, Ner'zhul, Terran Gorefiend, Drekthar, Rhaegar. No, it's gotta be Thrall. I don't care what people say. Warlock, they're giving Archimonde and Kil'jaeden. No. They're not warlocks. They are demons. They used to be Eredar. Even then, they weren't warlocks when they were Eredar. They were just dudes that eventually got possessed. They were like priests. Gul'dan, if Warlock Medivh doesn't count. Okay, good. I'm going to go Ghoul. And then Chokegal #2. Yeah, so I like that. And then they say Canrathad Ebenlock, Terran Gorefiend, who is really a Death Knight. Felstrom, and then Mage Azara. Even then they're saying Archimonde Kil'jaeden. Medivh and Egwin. Yeah, because they're kind of the same power pool. Anasarion and Khadgar. Kael'thas, yep. I like this person mentioned that. I was the only other person that mentioned that so far. Jaina Ronin. I don't think Ronin is, like, OP. But sure, putting him in a tier with Jaina based on his accomplishments. I like it. Alright, our fishing is done. Okay, so I'm bummed about the silk cloth, but I'm just going to have to get over it, right? Right, guys? Just going to have to get over it. Alright, back to killing. Let's do this. Killing continues. Demon Hunter, they're like Illidan, who else? Kane, Altruist. Altruist for sure. Is worth a mention. More Ghoulish and excuse me. Lillidan. I don't even know who Lillidan is. Death Knights, they're just like Arthas, hands down. But Mograine is a Death Knight. I feel like there should be a list of runners-up of Death Knights. Terran Gorefiend, he's a Death Knight. I just feel like the conversation can open up. You could, I guess Ner'zhul's not really a Death Knight. Priests, Velen. Yeah, I forgot totally about Velen. That's it. He's the winner. Tyrande. Anduin is a priest? I mean, originally, yes. But I would call him more like a paladin now. I don't know. I guess he's like a plate mail wearing priest. I don't know. Benedictus and Alonsis Fel. Yep, I mentioned those people. That's the Scarlet guy. Sally Whitemane Bay. Oh, you know what? I didn't even think about that. About the leader of the guild of the Gilneans. He's a good warrior. He's someone that maybe should have some kind of conversation somewhere. No idea on Moira or Talanji. Yeah, because Talanji's a priest too. Yeah, see? Cool. Vol'jin, if he counts. Yeah, kind of. I think so. Kalia maybe on the low end. Yeah, see, look, these are some priests that I have. We named our person after Talanji, but we called her a rogue. And Kalia, we made her a priest. So that's pretty cool. So we have some of that going on. Characters that should be on the list but are weird classes. Vol'jin as a Shadow Hunter. Yeah, so You could call him either a hunter, a priest, a shaman. I would say even maybe a rogue. Okay, so Zul'jin, he's basically a warrior, but he feels more like a rogue since that's what he is in the card game Hearthstone. Yeah, okay. And then they said, I'm not going to do this anymore, I'm bored. Alright, so that was good. That was actually a freaking cool conversation, and I like it. That was just one. So you see what kind of juicy talking points we can get into with just one fun question? I like that. Okay, this person just says the next one is just talking about Yogg-Saron. It just says, he is the lucid dream. The monster in your nightmares, the fiend of 1,000 faces. Did Yogg-Saron create nightmares as a concept? I don't know. There's not enough meat on that bone. Who are the best leaders in all of Azeroth? I don't think I'm qualified to discuss that at length. But I would say we could try to make a rundown of who even the leaders are. Which I don't even know the answer to that currently. I guess Anduin is the leader of the humans. I don't think Magni's... I think Moira? Thorisian, isn't she the leader of the dwarves now? If not, it's still Bronzebeard. It might still be Magni. I can't really remember. Is the Mechanome, I mean the Sprocket guy, is he still the gnome one? Whatever that guy's name is? Or did things change in BFA? Don't really remember. Night Elves, it used to be Tyrande. I guess it's probably still Tyrande. Maybe a Tyrande-Malfurion combo now? The Gilneas guy is the dude. I can't remember his name. Just the dude. The guy from The Big Lebowski. He's the leader of... the guy that's a werewolf. You know, he leads the werewolves. Greymane, maybe his name is. And then the Horde, I mean, I don't even know. The Horde, I feel like the leadership of the Horde changes every single time. There's... The last I remember is at the end of Shadowlands, they made it the Council that had a Forsaken version of Kalia on it, among others. It was, because it's not Sylvanas anymore. But did that change in Dragonflight? I don't remember. Which that gives you the Horde a whole leadership. Who is the most powerful orc? I don't know. I don't think it's Sourfang. I mean, Thrall's kind of AWOL, isn't he? Or is he there, he's the leader, and he just doesn't do anything now? Maybe it's still Thrall? I don't know. I think maybe Muln is the Tauren, because they have like that centralized leader in a way that the Alliance doesn't quite have as strong. I don't know. The Trolls, one of those guys with Jin at the end of their name, Zul'jin, Vol'jin. I think those guys died. So unless you want to, yeah, consider like the Zandalari troll, the Talanji, she's the leader. The Forsaken, yeah, I just mentioned that. It's since you can't really count unless Sylvanas is back in good graces, but probably not because I haven't played the newest expansion. I know at the end of Shadowlands she kind of had a redemption arc, but I don't even really know what she's up to. I can't remember. Yeah, so I'm not doing very good at this conversation. I feel like it changes too much, and it's too fluid, and I haven't played the most recent one, and I didn't really go back into Dragonflight. Like, you're spending so much time helping them out and dealing with Alexstrasza as a leader, which, there you go. Who's the best leader in all of Azeroth? Oh, Alexstrasza? I'll give it to Alexstrasza. Although, what do you mean by best? Do you mean most powerful, or do you mean, like, who has done the least amount of shady, crappy stuff. Because there's very few that you can admit. And even the ones that have done not that much, it's really just because they haven't been in power that long. Like, Alistraza is quite noble, but as we read in the book series, the War of the... whatever it was called, the Primal War of the Primal... I don't know. The one we read that was, like, talking about the proto-dragons. She made some shady choices that led to the battle with the Primalists. So, I mean, she stole babies. And yeah, you make that greater good argument, but anytime you have to make that argument as a politician, you're on a slippery, slippery slope. I don't know what I would personally, how I would handle something like that. I had to be the one that was, quote unquote, making that tough call. I don't know that I'd want to. Alright, so that conversation's not as fun to me. What was the end goal for the Nerubians? We are aiding an Aj. I don't know, is that something that's part of the new thing, or are they going back to old lore? What was the end goal? I would say, just off the cuff, I would say the end goal of the older Nerubians was the bringing the old gods back, because they're sort of a wing of that, unless there's something, unless this is from the War Within, and there is a storyline about the Aj, the Nerubians being a people that had their own things that were kind of possessed and put to a purpose by the old gods, which I think is a strong possibility. So, yes. What future books would you like to see? I don't care about that talking point, because whatever they are, I'll read them. I don't really have one I'm like, I wish they would write a book about this. I feel like we have so many that we haven't even got to. No point to have that talk. How can the Stormwind nobles let Anduin just wander around? How could they not? Now, when he was a kid, well, he didn't. When he was a little kid, he didn't just wander around. He was there at their side. Now, when he became a teenager and they're letting him wander around Pandaria, but then again, how can they not? And his dad was in Pandaria at that time, so. I don't think it's like as simple as. Plus, he's the leader. Like, what are you going to tell the leader to do? What kind of goblin cartels would you like to see? I don't know. I've never had the thought, man, I wish I could see this type of goblin cartel. What do you mean? Like, should there be a goblin drug cartel? Should there be a human trafficking goblin cartel, or goblin humanoid trafficking? Like, what is this person asking me? Well, they're not specifically asking me, but what are they really trying to get at here? What type of illicit activities would make some fun goblin NPC characters? Let's click on this. Now I'm questioning. With all the rumors about Undermine and a possible goblin raid, now I'm getting into goblin lore. One piece I found was that the goblins stopped waging war against each other and formed a trading union to rule over Kazan. Right? Okay, we know that. Should have used my judgment. You should have used my judgment. Not the first time I've said that sentence in my life. One old RPG book says there are 5 cartels. Okay, I do kind of remember this. And maybe one or two more like shadow cartels. We already know about the Steam Weedle and Bilgewater cartels. Okay. Which to me, I could not tell you a single difference between the two of them. And the Venture Company kind of being like a cartel. What kind of other cartels do you want to have? Eco-terrorists formed by goblin shamans? I mean, now that the goblins can be like every class. That's kind of funny. We have to imagine how they would progress without the influence of the surface. No trade, less advanced tech. I hope we get to see a real mob like the Mafia. Okay? So yes, kind of like what I was talking about when I read this question, but less dark and messed up than my initial go-through. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, drug lords? Cartels? Like that? Or like trafficking? Slavery? Like, what kind of... So my mind just went to all the worst crime-related activities I could think of, where that's not exactly what they meant. The mean streets of Gadgetstan and Hearthstone. Like, with a Don. So, like an actual kind of mafia kind of thing. That's where people are going. Which would be cool. Now, what do they say here? They acquired the skill to needle questions into different platforms and secretly ask users about playing preferences. They're gonna go with... So they're saying, like... I wonder... I'm reading that as, like, they are... They think Blizzard is reading the Reddit. I don't care which cartel, but they want more crazy tech stuff. Like a tech fever dream. I mean, that would actually be kind of cool, like a sci-fi element. I actually think that would be cool. I'm not opposed. I know this is a fantasy game, but I think having a sci-fi element, not as a whole expansion, but as a faction like that, like a secret hidden, or I guess even more steampunkier, I'd be down to explore that. I mean, yeah, what do we really already have? We already have a lot of the pirate-themed things. Alright, so that's it. I was really more interested in what the heck is the question are they talking about, and I've found my answer, and I don't care. High Elf military ranks pre-Scourge. What are they? I don't know, but I think that's a good question because you do see a lot of like military rank type things within the Night Elves. Well, I don't know. You actually, when you read the beginning of Sylvanas, they do talk some. You can kind of glean some things, and if you look at the Blood Elf military structure, you can glean a little bit more, especially even looking back at Warcraft 3. But I don't care. Are there any other WoW weapons that have as much lore as the Ashbringer? I'd say the Doomhammer. That's off the cuff. That one goes. That one I would say is it. Okay, here's what they say. You have to find the artifact, use the light to remove the darkness in it. Get the dwarf. Is this all from maybe War Within? I don't know. I'm not. I might be spoilering myself by reading this channel, but it doesn't really bother me that much. I'll get there eventually. Getting the dwarf who just lost his brother by the hands of the Lich King to forge a weapon out of said artifact. Use against the wielder, which turns it into a corrupted Ashbringer. Frostmourne, oh yeah. And this other person says Frostmourne and Doomhammer. Yeah. I don't know that Frostmourne has as much of a story, but maybe. I guess so. I guess if you... Maybe there's some that's ripe to be tapped. Okay. That's it. Ghosts made us do it. The orcs got what they deserved. Okay. And that first question they had pinned to the top, that was a good one. Now we're just kind of getting into the dregs here. What are we at with our... We are just past the halfway point. We're at 1574, so... Oops, I don't want that one. So we need... about 1,400. So around maybe 60 or so kills. Well, now we're getting into quest territory if you're at about 60 kills. We can do it. I'm glad we did fishing, though, because the reason why I decided to bite the bullet and do it right there... What's our timeline at? we're at an hour 40. Was because we are going to actually level up to 42 soon, and I didn't want to have to do a double fishing session. It's just feel more painful to me. All right, what do they mean by this? The ghosts made us do it. Okay, so orcs love this excuse, but in reality, they were fools for never once trying to verify it. Let's say you're a peaceful shaman, vibing in the grand, chilling, relaxing. Okay, I'm there mentally. One day you have a vision that every other shaman you know gets and tells you it's time for genocide. Not only that it's time to kill the race that has never once insulted you, let alone hurt you. Now that's a stretch. They did kind of work in minor ways. The ones who saved some kids back in the day with no question of a reward. How did not one shaman think, we should verify this dream? I should verify that this Nigerian prince is real before I send in my account codes. I mean, even if you agreed, wouldn't your first thought be to go to the spirits and ask them personally? WWSD? I know Ner'zhul was drugged the whole time until he touched the Adamal crystal, and Gul'dan was Gul'dan. Yeah, so those guys are whatever. What I'm saying is the orcs really wanted to kill the Draenei, because they didn't need much coaxing. Just a few dreams and boom, time for genocide. I know Ner'zhul did do just that, but too late, bozo. Okay, so basically the whole point of this is they're saying, what about that the orcs were never really didn't take a lot of coaxing. Sure, they were quote-unquote tricked. This is the argument of this Redditor. But they are saying, come on, let's be real, they wanted it. Any good lore YouTubes that go over expansions? Oh, guys, I'd love to be there. I'd love to answer yes on that one. I'm not there yet. We will get there because we're eventually going to do everything. But I'd love to self-promote and advertise on that one. Not yet, though. Why are Voidwalkers demons and not aberrations? Okay. Maybe it's tied something to do with the fact that demons come from the void? What's an aberration? What would be considered an aberration type in Warcraft? I'm trying to think of what are some aberrations. So now I'm gonna look that up. I'm gonna look up Warcraft aberrations. He's healing, I hear. Just gonna have to happen. Alright, so aberrations describe a wide range of creatures, mostly related to the void. Okay. Voidwalkers were demons. They added it in patch 5. So basically, this is something that came out in Mists of Pandaria when you start to deal with the Shaw little weird creatures that are like tentacular and scrawling around on the ground, and that makes sense. Glad I didn't have to use my stun. Okay, so they're saying now, why are Voidwalkers considered demons instead? Aberrations include Durumu, Il'gynoth. More often, they're actually other types of creatures such as elemental or undead. Most can't be skinned, but some can. They can be banished by warlocks, and they can be feared. Seems like it's a Dungeons and Dragons holdover. Some are Shadow Priest summons. I didn't even know a Shadow Priest could summon. Okay, so Beastmen, Beholders, And that's a Dungeons and Dragons thing. Beholders are aberrations in D&D. So I guess, do you consider beholders demons? Well, they kind of are in Warcraft lore. I'm worried we're going to enter a four-way fight right here. Okay, cool, it didn't happen. Alright, so this is like a technicality thing that also, because we're getting more into expansion territory, not my strength. Alright, we're getting close. Nice smashing hit. Smashing! Alright, so let's look and see. Let's see, after we kill this guy, where we're at. And try to... We'll take a math break and see how far away we are. Alright, so we need 964 reputation. So 40 kills would be 880. So 41 would be 902. So we need 44 kills. So now we're down to needing 43 kills. So we are definitely in quest territory now. We've had to kill 30 quests on. So we're on 43 guys remaining, and so we're basically on a countdown at this point. Because, like I said, we've had to kill at least that. Now we're down to 42 in some of these quests. It's been quite a journey, but we did do good, and that means we do good. Tomorrow we will finish off this. We'll do the entire Magrum chain, including killing Konratha, and we will then go turn in the quests in Ironforge and such like. Coming back at the end to... How are we doing on our silk pickup? See, we're not even back to having one yet. I hate that. I think when I send us back here, though, I am going to send us over to Darnassus, just so that we can turn into silk. I'm not going to make any more bandages out of my silk. It was a terrible idea. Should have never did it. The waste. Big fat waste of time. Sure, it gave me a little bit of gold, but a couple pieces of gold. Shouldn't have wasted it. So now I have to realize that's how I have to approach my cloth. That as soon as I can make the next higher rank, I start making that. And we don't waste cloth. What about wool? I'm not there on wool. We're not even one stack, so we do need wool. And we've wasted basically all of the... We would have been done. We would have had all 4 factions done with silk, and instead we just wasted an absolute metric crap ton of silk. And that is my bad. But whatever, you can buy those for, especially silk and wool, we can buy those for lower amounts. We can farm them. So we'll just kind of track that on our own as we play. And when it comes to end game, when we're really wrapping up every quest on the map, then we'll kind of have those conversations. Yeah, next we'll be starting Alterac Valley. I am going to prolong the experience just a pinch by doing Horde Alterac Mountains first, before we really get into testing our theory finally on the assassins, the Shadow Assassins, or whatever, the Syndicate Assassin questline. Is my theory right? I really feel super darn strong about it. Alright, where are we at with... I can't look at the rep, it's just going to give me an error screen now. Oh, that's what it is, yeah. The error screen will pop up. Ooh, I almost fell. Okay, so I don't know. I think we probably killed at least 8 or something. So we've got to be near the ballpark of 30 kills needed. Okay, so I'm going to put it down in case the error popped up early. We need exactly 700. So we still need... We need 32 kills. Dang, guys. 32 kills away. 31 kills. Let's see if I can actually keep track of this in my mind. On our list here. We are pretty good, pretty accurate on time. You know, we did take a detour, and we're okay on bag space. We're not into 30 kills. 31 kills remaining. We should be good and not needing anything else. Okay, now we need a flat 30 kills. Flat 30. Equivalent to those Ravager quests. So tonight I am, for those of you that are ever interested, check out the Patreon. Again, it is patreon.com/GleeCon. If you want to have a different experience, I do the... I'm doing a project on there. I'm 14 episodes in, called Lore of Assassin's Creed. If you look back on this channel, I've posted 2 of the episodes as on this channel, just so you can kind of get a little teaser of what it looks like. But yeah, there's 14 episodes available so far. Each one is about the same length here, where it's in the ballpark of around 2 hours. I typically get about 1 region done, because that Assassin's Creed 1 is what I'm playing through right now. And it's broken down into different, like, there are 3 different major cities, plus a couple of little side ones. Each one of those cities is broken down into a rich, a middle, and a poor district. And I typically get about 1 district done on an episode. Each district comes with a series of open world challenges and collectibles, and a assassination at the culmination of the zone. And I 100% each zone. I'm pretty close to... I think I have maybe 2 zones left, 2 districts left in the game. So I already forgot to keeping track of my kills. Where are we at right now? 524 remaining kills. 524. So that's 20 plus 84. Basically 24 kills remaining. 23 kills remaining. I think there's a dude in there. Let's kill these tent dwellers. 23 kills remaining. But my wife had to pick up, they basically ended up, she would normally work on Wednesday, which was, today's Friday, when I'm dropping this. So last night she wouldn't have worked. I would normally be at work all week. And because prep for the storm and some beginning storm conditions on Wednesday for this hurricane caused them to shutter the office on Wednesday. The storm was actually here in town. It wasn't so bad on Thursday, but it was overnight. It wasn't so bad for me. As I mentioned over the past couple episodes, I just got really, really lucky in my county. Over 70% of or about 70% of the county lost power, internet, all that stuff. I maybe lost it for maybe a couple hours over the night, in the middle of the night. That's about it. Nothing I even really noticed. I never had to get a break in my record. Got really lucky. So when just being part of the 30%, and my county is one of the hardest counties that were hit in terms of power outages in the entire state. The local news has put out that most major roads are at least somewhat or partially blocked. So I live in the woods, and the major road that cuts through these woods is blocked. So, and flooded and trees downed and stuff. So just the fact that nothing really happened and somehow my little house was protected, a little protected enclave, is good. And we got really lucky. So anyway, the city was impassable yesterday. Today, I would imagine things are going to be better. I'm gonna probably, we've been on water watch where we can't do it. Today was originally supposed to be a work from home day, but they sent out the message either, I think yesterday, saying that they're just, don't even bother. They're going to shutter the offices again. So, because when they work from home, they keep the offices open if it's that kind of day, so that you can go in there if you want to do any remote meetings or anything at the actual, but they're like, nah, just don't even bother. And it does mean all of these days will at some point most likely have to get made up, unless there's like a government act that says government employees do not have to, in fact, make up these days. Something that is not unprecedented, but obviously giving everybody free pay is not necessarily something no bosses and not government bosses, they just not something that they want to do. All right, so we're actually, look at this. We are at 89% of the way, basically, through the level up process. And I'm not even, like, tracking. I'm not intentionally targeting or not targeting. But I think because of that, just by turning in the dungeon quest, we have a remaining 10,700 XP, and we just got about 200 more. I'm not worried about it. We're gonna level up, probably even just turning in the chain, the Magram chain. Our time is, we're just coming up on 2 hours here, but we're also really close. I know we need less than 20 at this point kills. Let's do the math on that. We need a total of 260. So that's 12. We need 12 kills. That's awesome. Guys, we did it. We grounded out in one episode. That was faster than we did with our other character. It was, for the most part, it breezed by because we had a better talking point given by the people of Warcraft lore on Reddit. Can't complain. Yeah, all I can do is offer thanks. After this, we're going to be down to our final 10 kills. Dang it. Oh, we got an iron lockbox. You know what we can do? Let's use this key to open up this iron lockbox. I should use that gold for more keys too and see what we get. A claymore, a two-handed sword, 23.9. It's not quite as good as what we have, but cool nonetheless. I'm gonna have to make some more silver and golden keys too. I think that's a good idea. Okay, so I think we need about 10 kills at this point. Pretty sure that's where we're at. And now we should be down to 9 kills. And then then we're gonna go over to the Magram to turn it in, and we're just gonna chill there. We're not gonna do anything. There are no quests we need to worry about turning in, and we're just gonna kind of park it there. We shouldn't need. Normally we would have to go find an advanced target dummy, but we're not gonna need to do that. When we are traveling over to Ironforge and stuff at the end, we will hopefully maybe level up in that process. Okay, we should need 8 kills. Yeah, we've gained about 1,000 XP in that time, so we're at 9,700. But remember, we're gonna have to kill Khan Haratha and the Maraudin. So right there, we're gonna get a big chunk of kills of XP in that. At least half of that, I would say. At least 5 of that 10,000 are going to be got there. Plus, we have some other kills we need to do in the short run. Boom, got another. Okay, I think I'm at 7 kills. I don't remember. It's really hard for me to multitask like counting down kills and doing these other things. So I hope they lift the water ban restrictions today. I'm not having a super lot of faith about that because the whole town is really underwater. As of right now, I'm going to have to go in and do a normal work day on Monday, although we're all about a week behind on work now, so they have already extended all deadlines and everything a week, so that's just common sense. Here's 2 more, so I think after I kill this elemental, I'm going to be at about needing... Oops, that was wrong button. Needing about 5 kills, I think. We'll see. I'm really eager to get to a lot of the lore with this show too. I think there's a lot that we could do. There's just so much. I really like those little short lore videos that we have. Those are fun for me to make. Like when we're reading the Wowpedia lately, I don't know, I'm kind of into that. So there's just so much good stuff. We've never finished Chronicles because of the way that we're reading it. We've never finished Sylvanas because the end of the book is all in Shadowlands. Like the thing asked, what's a good channel that does the expansions? Well, I would love for that to be this channel, but... Okay, I thought we were at about 5, and I just killed... So I think we're going to be down to about, I think, maybe 3 kills after this? Ish. We're basically in the any kill now territory. No, that was it. That was the last kill. We are freaking friendly. Alright, we're going to go turn it in, and we're not even going to run. We're going to go log out right next to Warog after we turn in Brutal Politics. So we might as well go ahead and lock some of this stuff down. So we're going to do the Desolace quest. Do the dang thing, right? Okay, so we're going to turn in Brutal Politics, the last alliance only quest. Bang. Bong bong. Oh, look, there's our buddy. Okay, I need to get a few more here. Not a ton. A few. See, he wants help. But we already helped him. So I'm not going to help you again, sir. I don't even think I could, actually. Alright, so Brutal Politics is going to be turned in, and then that's going to open up, way back up here, Broken Tears. That is the one that they send us into the Gelkis Cave. And want us to get those little blue crystals. We did it on the Horde character. The problem with that, well, there's not really a problem. It's just they respawn very fast, and there are 2 or 3 in the entrance, so there's not a problem getting them. The only issue would be is I think you would need to kill at least like 1 dude to get all 5. Not none. I think you'd need at least or you could have some kind of like polymorph if you were a mage. If you had, what's the incapacitation? That's only 6 seconds incapacitation, yeah. Or maybe, yeah, I think a mage and possibly a hunter could pull off killing none. If you really used your decoy kind of things. A rogue with sap could do it. So a rogue is a good, I would say a rogue you could switch. If you prefer to get Magrum first, rogue is a good one because you could use sap and everything and get the crystals, and then even killing the con guy, you could stealth your way in, focus down and kill the leader in the back of the cave, and then vanish and escape. So a rogue is the only class I think that is uniquely capable of doing without losing time, doing the Magrum first, then doing Gelkis. So if you are a rogue and you want to do that one first, that's and not only just a rogue, you have to be crazy like me also. Have to be an insane dude who, for whatever reason, wants both of these. Many Gelkis fall to you. I like that. Maybe you can do more things I like. Maybe you and the Magrum can be friends. Whew. Okay, so that dropped us 500 down. The Gelkis for only increase of 80 with the Magrum. How does that work? It's weird, because that means it's typically they've been 5 times as much, right? But this is 5 times as much on the decrease as well. The Kokar think they are strong, but we laugh at them. We laugh at them and we kill them. We kill them too. Show me you can kill Kokar like we do. Head north and slay them all. Oh, we need assault on the Kokar. So this is a new one that we did not pick up. Because we have raid on the Kolkar. So this is for the Alliance, each one. So I actually have to add this in. I definitely did this. We need to add in assault on the Kolkar. Because you can't do that. And this is, I believe this is an Alliance only one. So we actually need this one. That's one extra quest in the chain we're going to have to do. Above Broken Tears. Let's just count it out too. We need more than this, because we will have Broken Tears, Gizmo, that's 2, Shaka, that's 3, turning in 1, 2, and 3, so that's 6, and then killing Tanhatha. So we need at least 7 more spots on the spreadsheet. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, that should be it. All right, cool. So we did it. We have another episode in the pipe, 5x5. We did the boring grind. It is all done. And we're ready to do the finale of Desolace on the next episode of Warcraft, guys. See everybody next time. On Warcraft? Question mark.